Maybe, maybe,
Maybe. We're
maybe,
gonna have technical
maybe.
difficulties.
There we are.
There we go.
There it is. All right. YouTube just took its sweet time getting that preview up,
I know. YouTube taking its own sweet time.
like it always is.
I've seen older people drive faster than how YouTube spins up.
Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 194, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Steve.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, usually some Star Trek. We do read all super chats on the air, so long as they won't get me demonetized. And we do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat in the early goings, and we'll give some shout outs as we go along. And last but not least, if you want to join the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon or float plane. Links are both down in the video description.
This is... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't mean to stop you. I stopped you.
As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the ever-growing and awesome community over there. Although maybe not Steve after that.
Yeah, no. I started talking.
You are so fired.
I thought you were done. And I was gonna say something funny, and then I guess it's not gonna be funny now.
Oh, well, now you have to say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, our Discord's like the modern day speakeasy. You have to have like the secret knock, or it's a secret Patreon payment to get into the.
You got to slip the bartender a couple of bucks, and
the craft computing speakeasy.
What the exclusivity does is it charges the trolls $2 if they want to come in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're gonna piss me off, at least I can make a couple of bucks and have a coffee off you.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the show. How's it going, Steve?
It's not too bad. I mean, a little tired, but then when isn't that the case? I mean,
yeah,
all the time. How about you?
I'm trying to remember the last point at which I wasn't tired.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to remember what my life was like before I had kids. I honestly don't remember what I did.
Yeah. Slept in, probably. It's why you don't remember. Just a lot of sleeping was going on.
Yeah. My oldest is 8 years old. My wife and I have been married for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I remember the first half of our marriage, like how we spent like day-to-day life.
Yeah. It was obviously bliss.
Oh, it was. It was great. That's why we've been married 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
7 of them happily.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think before I was married was probably the last time I wasn't tired.
Yeah, it's like ancient times to me.
Yeah.
To go get an archaeological dig, go find some artifacts. Oh, I remember this. This is when I wasn't tired. We have to put this in a museum.
Digging up past fires in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's a bygone era, Steve.
It definitely is.
All right. Let's see. We got a couple of things in the chat. John J. drinking a single cut 18-watt IPA to start off the night.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. GI Pilot's got an Adriate Theory. How do you pronounce that one?
I call it Adriate Theory too.
Adriate, that's what I thought. I always second guess myself when I pronounce it, and no one's ever corrected me, which usually people are apt to do. It's Ubuntu.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe you have to go to the brewery itself to find the actual pronunciation.
Frickin' Shakopee.
It's like it's like a quest. It's a quest to seek the real pronunciation.
Anyway, GI's drinking an Adroit Theory Sellout Zur. Looks like a hard seltzer. We got Novella Hub drinking a Clown Shoes Ancient Hills Chocolate Milk Stout aged in bourbon barrels. I don't know that I've ever had a milk stout that's barrel aged. I
have, and they're quite delicious. They're very, very good mouthfeel.
Like I went,
creamy.
That sounds delicious, and I'm like,
it's super creamy. It's like really good, thick, creamy mouthfeel.
Nice.
And both Adriate Theory and Clown Shoes both make excellent beers.
Oh, fantastic!
9 times out of 10, they're better than most.
Yes.
So they're very good.
Let's see. Magic's drinking a Redemption Bourbon tonight.
Redemption
Good
bourbon
stuff. I've had that.
Oh,
one.
we got Stone. Michael Stevens drinking a Stone Buena Visa.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've had it before. It's a pretty. I think it's a session. Considered a session beer. It's like a session IPA, I think. 4.7%.
Yeah. And then we got William drinking a Dragon's Milk.
Always a good one.
Yep. And D. Hampton's drinking a homebrew pumpkin ale.
Oh man, I did that.
John
once.
getting after it early.
Yeah,
apparently.
I know. Yeah.
John's desperate for anyone to drink his pumpkin ale.
Yeah, he's desperate for anybody to drink his beer. Although I have to say, and I think I mentioned this last time, his Russian Imperial Stout, his technically it's bourbon barrel aged, even though it wasn't aged in a bourbon barrel. It was just aged in charred oak chips. But it's delicious. It's honestly really good.
John makes a good stout, and he makes a good tepacha.
Yeah. Those are the two that he's done that his claim to fame for being an actually good beer that he's made.
Yeah, those are the two that I've told John, you could actually bottle this and sell this. Like, I would not be ashamed to pull this off the shelf and drink it.
Definitely.
He's had some others that are...
Well, it's not just some. Come on now.
Silly Rabbit, tricks are for kids. Yeah. Or was that Lucky Charms, or what the hell was that one? What was his cereal one?
Oh no, did he do a cereal one?
Oh no, that was you.
That was me.
Was yours.
Yeah. Well, that was okay. So we did a thing with some friends of ours where we did like a kind of an Iron Chef style brewing thing. Where we wrote up 3 different hops. Or a big list of hops, a big list of grains, like specialty grains, and then a big list of specialty ingredients. And then we threw 3 darts at a dartboard. And then based on where it landed, that would be the ingredient that we'd have to use in the beer. And so I can't remember what it was. Oh no, it wasn't cereal, it was Fig Newtons. So I had to put Fig Newtons in my beer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't cereal, it was Fig Newtons.
Someone put cereal. Someone did cereal. I remember.
I think somebody did do cereal. But yeah, we had like all kinds of different weird ingredients to put in there.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get into this whale pod because I have a beer opening to do.
Oh, nice. I'm a little jealous.
Well, some of these are actually for you.
Even better. Okay, now I'm more excited.
Yes. Novella Hub, he really likes to keep this channel fueled. And in fact, I'm going through a couple of ones that have been in my fridge for a while. One of them Novella Hub sent me, the other I think I bought a while back, but I'm trying to dig my stock down a little bit because I've got 12 more bottles that I need to fit in the fridge now. So thank you, Novella Hub. I'm sure John and Steve and Rhett and myself will dearly, dearly appreciate these bottles. So we've talked a number of times about how we can get Dragon's Milk Stout, which is among my favorite stouts, if not top 3. How we can get that one on the regular for like $8. It's not expensive. It's a phenomenal 10% Imperial Stout, fantastic flavor, nothing bad about it. However, getting the Dragon's Milk Reserve Stouts is a little more difficult because New Holland doesn't ship them. Well, Steve, there's 2 bottles in here for each of us.
Oh, which kind is it?
We have the Solara, which is the Fodder aged ale. And then we have the Dragon's Milk Reserve, 2021 Reserve 2, double bourbon barrel-aged stout with Madagascar and Indonesian vanilla beans.
Madagascar and Indonesian?
Yes.
That's like an international vanilla flavoring.
Yes.
That's super fancy.
So there are 4 bottles of each in there, 2 for each of us.
Oh, man.
Okay. And then this one I have not seen. He said he put a wild card bottle in here. So... Oh, my man. Oh, boy. From Fulton Brewing, It is the old-fashioned Sweet Child of Vine IPA ale with cherry and orange zest, aged in Jameson casks.
Ooh.
Oh, man. 7.5%. So an old-fashioned IPA.
Man, today would have been a good day for me to drive over and do an in-studio Talking Heads. It should have been. That should have been today.
There's only one of those in here. It's the damnedest thing.
See, that's why I should have been there, because we could have just split it.
No, there's one each in there for you guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Jameson cask, man. That's going to be good.
Yeah. I don't know. They made whale pods in 9-packs. That's weird.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you, Novella Hub.
Novella Hub. Many blesses. It's going to be great.
He is the absolute man. And tell you what, next up, let's go ahead and open our beer, and then I have one more box that I need to open.
Okay. So we already have a super chat too.
Oh, Ryan with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Ryan. Built my first NAS, HP Z7 or Z420 with 6 WD Blue 1 terabyte 2.5-inch drives in a RAID 6. Storage passed through to a Win 7. I have my reasons. VM share on Proxmox synced to Google Drive with rclone for offsite. That is an excellent solution. The one thing you might want to be a little bit careful on is the WD Blues, the 2.5-inch variants. I believe those may be SMR based drives. So if you ever have to rebuild, rewriting the entire RAID may take a tad of time, as they say. But other than that, that's a pretty solid setup. I do like a good Z420 system. They are always a great choice for, I want something out of the box that has enough power that I can get for, you can pick up motherboards for like $70 for like native X79, C612 chipsets. They're pretty solid boards. But yeah, my one bit of advice would be check out the WD Blues and see if they are SMR. I believe they are shingled magnetic right. And just keep an eye on your overall hard drive health. And if you have any inkling that a drive may be failing, go ahead and swap it out because you don't want to do a full rebuild. But good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Steve, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah. All right. So my choices for the evening is I have Hop a Wheelie IPA from Boneyard Brewing.
That's a great name.
I know. He's like kind of like that the old Mad Magazine comic type stuff. They got the or Hot Rod magazine stuff. And Boneyard, they're in Bend, Oregon, and they make great IPAs.
Yep.
And they've just recently started distributing in cans. Within like the last year or two, I think.
I think it's been about 2 years. That they started distributing a little bit more. I started seeing them in my local bottle shop about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, they decided to can like everything and start shipping.
Yes. So. And they got a lot of stuff out there now.
Yeah.
Another one I have is a derivative of the Irish Death. This is Aloha Death. So it's like the Irish Death, but with coconut.
Yep. They're at Quilters or Fullerton.
Yeah.
Fullerton, Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you had this before, and you said you really liked it.
I did enjoy that one. It's probably, in my opinion, the best of the alternates from the Irish Death family.
Yeah. And then last but not least, if I eventually get to it, I have 13 Blood Orange Kolsch from Crystal Springs Brewing. They're from Colorado.
Nice.
Colorado. Yeah. So I thought that'd be interesting.
I do like a good Kolsch.
Yep. Nice and light.
So, like I said, I felt like a big beer tonight, and I went, do I open like one big bottle or do I open two smaller bottles that are also big? And so looked at the bottom of my fridge and I pulled out from Skookum Brewery. And this is again from Novella Hub. This is one of the older bottles that he sent me. This is the Murder of Crows Imperial Stout aged on seasoned oak. So not barrel aged, but aged on seasoned oak. 9%. So.
Oh, Murder of Crows. I think I've had that one before. I can't remember. I've had so many.
So there's Murder of Crows, and then from Great Divide Brewing in Denver, Colorado, is their Yeti Imperial Stout, but not just their standard Yeti, but the Barrel Age Series Yeti. Mm-hmm. This is a stout aged in whiskey barrels, and this one clocks in at 12.5%.
Aye.
And even better, this one's been aging since 2017.
That's going to be delicious.
So this is a legit 4-year barrel at 4.5. Bottled on March 22nd, 2000. Oh no, hold on. I can't open this one yet. That's right.
Oh,
I need to wait. I remember who sent this one to me. This was sent in by a user who said, I have a beer that was literally bottled on the day you started your channel, on the day you registered your channel.
Oh, so that's an anniversary beer.
It's a good thing that, yeah, this is my 5-year anniversary beer. That's why it was aging. That's why it was aging.
You can't crack it open yet. Yeah, I gotta go. Okay.
You
gotta pick something else.
Well, you crack yours open. I'm going to find something else.
I'm going to go start off with Hop a Wheelie. I popped this because I thought I didn't have it, but then when I looked it up on Untapped, apparently I did. But it's been several years, so it may taste a little different. So I did remember noting that I thought it was a little overhopped, but that's okay. I'm kind of sick of the big hazy beers, as you can tell. This is not a hazy. This is a very clear IPA. And you can just smell the big hop profile there.
Oh.
Wow. That's very grassy and citrusy. Lots of whoa. Okay. Yeah, I think my original assessment is still pretty much there. It's really good at the first sip. Mm-hmm. But then man, that hop just smacks you in the jaw in the
Which
back
one is
end
this?
Right there. This is the Hop a Wheelie.
Okay.
Yeah. So like you take it right up and you kind of get this slightly grassy, citrusy, mm-hmm. and the malt's kind of in there, and then just afterwards, man, that bitter hop bite just goes clocks you right there.
A lot of Boneyard beers do that. So Boneyard and Block 15 are the two beyond hoppy breweries that are in Oregon. Yeah. They're kind of regionally distributed. You're not going to find them very far, even outside of the valley. But those two are known for being thick, dank, old school, suck you in the gut style IPAs.
Well, I like some of other Boneyards because it is very hoppy, but they mellow it out usually with a sweeter malt. This one does not have a very sweet malt. It's just straight up super hoppy.
So Steve, promise you won't be mad.
I'm always mad.
I know you're always mad.
Yeah.
So like I said, I felt like a big beer tonight. I don't have another good big imperial stout, and I don't want to do a 12% IPA into a 12%. It just you don't do that.
Yeah.
So since I have another bottle coming that is a year older than this one, I figure I'm going to go ahead and open this one, which is the Pelican Brewing.
Mother of all storms.
Mother of all storms.
Yes. Well, okay, I'm not that jealous because I just did that video with John.
Yeah, you just did the video, so I don't feel bad about this at all.
I just had some, so I'm not too beat up about it. And I have 2 bottles of it myself at home.
Yeah, so I have 2 more coming as well. So yeah. So this is I think this is the 2020, if I remember correctly.
Oh man, are you gonna try drinking that all by yourself tonight?
Yes. You're
not going to get to the second beer.
No, I set the second beer aside. I went,
okay.
Nope, I'm just going to open one.
Yeah. Okay.
So for those who don't know, this is a bomber by Pelican Brewing, Mother of All Storms. It's a barley wine. It is 14%.
Oh, it is delicious though. It
is
super good.
And this is a full 1.6 ounces. This is a full 24 ouncer. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to already like barley wines to like this one.
Well, that's okay. So some people who have had maybe the barley wine by Sierra Nevada, the Bigfoot.
Yes.
That one is extremely hoppy. So don't judge that barley wine to all other barley wines, because the Mother of All Storm is very sweet and malty. It has some complex fruit notes to it, like some figgy chocolatiness to it. It's very good.
Oh yeah,
it is super awesome.
Oh wow, yeah. There's like a super Gosh, I want to say cherry, but I also kind of want to go plum.
Yeah, it's got some complex fruity notes to it. That's what I like it.
Like it's that deep pie cherry or plum or super dense dark fruit. Really bitter dark chocolate floating on top of it.
It's very good. Yeah, if you like dark chocolates or like that fruited dark, that's the beer for you, because that's exactly kind of what it tastes like. It's so good.
Oh yes. Oh, that's so good. That's a good beer. I think we have jabbered enough at the beginning of this video. Let's go ahead and jump into the news.
Let's do it.
Starting off, Intel has warned that a chip shortage may last for an additional 2 years.
That's right.
Oops, forgot to properly resize my window. There we go. Now you can read it.
Shrink.
Pat Gelsinger, who's he's the CEO of Intel, that's right, says that you thought the silicon shortage was bad right now. We're not even halfway through.
Yeah.
Not only are we not halfway through, but the worst of it is still on its way. There is a number of reasons behind all of this happening. The biggest of which is the trade war that has been going on with China, with tariffs being thrown left and right by various organizations and previous administrations and yada yada. If you were hoping to buy a new gaming PC or upgrade something on
yeah, it's probably not looking too great.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's saying it's still another 2 years out, I'm kind of glad I upgraded last year. So I'm kind of like, I got there right at the end. Although I'm still bummed that I sold my RTX 2070.
Yeah.
Because now I'm still sitting in the water without an RTX card.
Yeah.
Because I just cannot get one.
I told you I can get you a good long-term loaner. So.
It's fine. It's
if you needed to play ray traced Quake 2. Ray traced.
Although my son would like ray traced Minecraft, he'd probably play the heck out of that. But no, most of the time it's usually if I get to start playing. My son's at that age where he sees me playing and he wants to sit on my lap and he wants to start playing. And then pretty soon he'll take over, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I want to play this."
Yep. All right. So buckle up.
Yeah, not good news. And it always seems that when I'm on the stream, that it's always bad news.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just had a string of bad news. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the bearer of bad tidings.
You've got a good run of bad luck going on, is what
I guess so. Everybody's going to hate me just because I bring the bad news.
Okay. One of the ways that retailers have been combating both the bots trying to pick up every single available component on the market, whether it's power supplies or video cards or CPUs or what have you, or just exceedingly high demand for those components as well, because demand shot through the roof all the way through 2020. Is they've been using a series of essentially sweepstakes or raffles or line queues or deposit with callbacks, or you name it, there's a system out there and a company has implemented it to make sure that actual people who have actual money and only want to buy like one card can get that card and can build themselves a gaming PC. Newegg has been doing what's called the Newegg Shuffle, which is essentially like a raffle. You sign up for the release of a card, and they draw 20 names out of a hat for the 20 cards that they have, and you get one or you don't.
Yep.
Steve, do you care to explain how an 11-year-old found the loophole in all of this and scored himself a 3090 on the first try?
Sure. So what he did, apparently, So how the shuffle works, and everybody signs up for this because everybody wants a video card. So the chances of you actually scoring one are pretty low. I mean, it's not great. They have hundreds of thousands of people in these lottery pools waiting for their name to get drawn up. So what this kid found was Newegg has this build a PC feature, pretty much kind of like how PC Part Picker is, but it's all within stuff that Newegg has. So you pick your Newegg products and add them to your PC build, and then once you have all your stuff in this PC build area, you would just click buy, and it automatically puts it into your cart. What he had found out that if he just adds that card to this thing and then clicks buy, even if the card is sold out, it will put it in his shopping cart.
It keeps it in his shopping cart.
It keeps it in his shopping cart, and so when the next one's available, he gets it right away. He circumvented the whole shuffle system. Now they have since figured this out, and they've since fixed it, so this is not going to work anymore. But that was kind of funny how he's he probably wasn't even intentionally trying to do it. He was probably just messing around. He's like, well, what if I do it this way? What's going to happen? And so it made him go to the top of the request list. I guess that particular system that they have there has a priority over this other system. So yeah, he got himself an RTX card pretty easily.
Bravo!
I know, bravo, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Good for that kid.
Man,
now he can go play Minecraft at whatever 6,000 frames a second.
I wish I paid retail for my 3090.
Yeah,
I know, that
right?
much.
I know.
Yeah, I paid a scalper. Although I paid a scalper who was not happy with selling it through eBay. So I haven't told this story. I posted a whole thread in the Battle Bridge. So Steve, I think you might have read this one.
Yeah, I did read this, yeah.
So I bought an RTX 3090 off eBay, and it was $2,800. But while I paid scalper prices, I also made scalpers or miners pay for cards that I had bought for dirt cheap. So I bought my AMD S7150X2 cards. I think I paid about $320 on average for the 3 cards. I sold them for $900 a pop. And so I took the money that I would have otherwise spent elsewhere or took the money that I earned from that and just bought myself an RTX 3090. Right. So in all actuality, I only paid $900 for my 3090 because it was a straight trade with the cards.
That's still under MSRP right there.
Oh, well under. It's $600 under, right? Yeah. So even with like eBay fees and everything else. Anywho, speaking of the eBay fees, so I was shopping eBay and whatnot, and what I will usually do with eBay is if there's someone within a couple hundred miles of me, I'll buy that one even if it's like $50 or $70 more. Maybe not that much, but if they're within a couple percentage points, I'll give the local person or in-state the bid because, well, I'll get it 3 days sooner and I don't have to pay expedited shipping, and it's helping someone in my state and that kind of thing. So there were a couple for like $27.75. I settled on one for $27.99. That was in Oregon. Bought the card, paid for it. And I get an email and says, cool, I'll ship the card out first thing in the morning. Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. So this is a Wednesday, I'll have it by Friday kind of thing. I then get an email in the morning that says, hey, holy crap, did you realize eBay takes 12.5% on electronic items sold? So they took $350 from the sale. I went, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's how they make money.
I am well aware of how eBay operates. I've been on the platform for almost 20 years. Did you not read the fine print? So he offered to refund the transaction and then sell me the card for $2,500 or $2,600. So he would make more money in return and I'd get $200 off the card. And I went, no. That is 100% against eBay's terms of service to take a transaction off platform after you've rendered the contract. This is a contract. It is a legally binding contract once the transaction has taken place. And I said, not only that, but I make a good amount of my income off eBay partner sales. Like I have eBay affiliate links, and I'm not gonna take a $200, attaboy, and risk the quite literally 4-figure income amount I get from eBay every month. You're not gonna
bite the hand that feeds you. Obviously.
Right. And I said, and neither should you. If you don't like it, protest somewhere else. But right now, I don't appreciate you holding my money ransom. And the guy went, I'm not holding your money ransom, man. I'm just saying, like this is bull and whatnot. And so I emailed him back. I said, you have both my money and my graphics card. That is the definition of a ransom. You can either ship the card today, or I will report this to eBay, and I'll get my money back anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and you got the card, and he took the hit.
He took the hit. He wasn't happy about it. He actually apologized. He goes, "Sorry, I let my temper get the best of me, and I shouldn't have done that, and whatnot." And he goes, "I took it out on you." And I said, "I have $2,800 just kind of floating out in the ether right now, and I don't appreciate that."
Just tell him to build his own auctioning site with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the mods in chat, they know of that story, and they actually read the emails going back and forth. It was super sketch. It was super sketch for a couple of days of whether or not I was going to get the card, or if I was going to have to file like a PayPal complaint and wait 30 days to get almost $3,000 back from them. It's like, I wasn't thrilled. So, something you'll always be thrilled with, though.
Yeah.
If you decide to host your servers through Linode, today's video sponsor. See what I did there?
It's good. Such seamless blending.
Seamless transition. Yeah. Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by Linode. If you ever needed to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business use, but don't have the resources or time to invest in hardware, power, cooling, or even space, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes the software for most tutorials in my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS server, VPN gateways, or your own cloud-based Plex server, and more. They also have one-click application installs to quickly get services up and running. Choked on spit in the middle of the segue. Sorry. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site, because remember, RAID is not a backup. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit just for signing up for a new account, and get your home lab or business server started today. That's linode.com/craftcomputing, and thanks again to Linode for sponsoring this video, and sorry to Linode for choking in the middle of that read.
Use Linode. It will make your lymph nodes happy, I guess. Linode lymph nodes. I don't know. I was choking there.
Thanks for making it worse.
You're welcome. I was trying to make it better.
Oh, that's the downside with live reads when you do them that way.
Yeah.
You can screw up.
Oh yeah, you can't do a second take. I mean, you can, but you gotta start over.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear that again.
What I will say is I do have probably the funniest ad that I've written coming out this week. I have a pre-roll ad that
I saw some of the image.
I was
it's
chuckling
gonna be funny.
So hard.
It was pretty funny. I think it's great. You said that you're waiting for because they have to approve of it. Right?
It's been approved.
Oh, perfect.
The response I got was LOL approved.
It's gonna be good.
If I can make them laugh, given the context and content of what's involved,
it's gonna be good.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Usually ads when you're doing the kind of thing that I do, and that's writing pre-roll ads to make the ads my style, but also deliver a message that a company wants, and they have to approve it, and there's usually a back and forth approval process. And so I go, how about this for a read, or this for a script, or whatever. And because every company's different in what they want first. Some want a script and then a rough cut and then a final cut, and they can make revisions along the way. Some just want you to film something and they'll say yes or no. And so it's all a really weird thing to be in. But this particular vendor is one that I usually have one or two back and forths with. Oh, could you include this too? And this time they just went LOL approved. Yes. Yeah, if you want to preview the inside joke, check out the Discord via Patreon or Floatplane. Link down in the video description and also in chat right now. I can't talk about them because that's part of the contract. I can only play the ad when the ad goes. But I did share a teaser clip or a teaser screen grab in the Discord. So go check that out.
Is that treating you good?
The it's warming up. It's getting a little. Good.
I know. There's a reason it's my favorite barley wine. There's a reason for it. It's really good.
The fruit has mellowed out a little bit. It's not. Before it was super bitter chocolate with a real deep sweet fruit flavor. The fruit has mellowed out and it's actually giving way to like slightly sweeter chocolate. So we're not like, straight up dark 65% cacao chocolate right now. Now we're like in a nice mid semi-sweet chocolate. We're into like the 35-40%, maybe a little milk mixed in there. And it's a much sweeter start to it. And then instead, the fruit is still there, but it's way, way in the back. Now I'm getting just this rich, thick malt carrying kind of the rest of the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
No, it's and that's the thing I appreciate about it the most is it's very complex. And as you drink it, you pick up new things about it. And every new thing you pick up about it, it's like, it's not disgusting. It's like, oh, I like that. I like it even more.
No,
I like it even more.
Yep. And by the way, this is still 14%. It does not drink like 14%.
No, it does not. It does not.
That's a dangerous bottle right there. It's a bottle usually meant for sharing.
Right. But get to share it with yourself today.
The drunkest show on YouTube. I've been drunker.
Yeah. It's usually the after party that's more drunky.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually the after party is the one drink too many.
Yeah.
So.
I think we've had them go up till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Even more than that. Like there was one a couple of weeks ago where I was up until 2 in the morning. So it was a 3.5 hour after party. I got off. They were still chatting when I woke up. They were still in there.
Yeah. Wow. It's a rotating party.
Yeah. No, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. So. All right. Let's see here. Did I miss any super chats lately? No.
I don't think so. Cool. I mean, I've been glancing, but I didn't see it.
I glanced every once in a while, but I hadn't paid attention for like 10 minutes or so. So I just wanted to. Jeff had on mic suffering. You shut your mouth, Tripping. I may have fallen asleep against my microphone twice, where I did like this number and kind of dozed
off
for a bit.
I always bow out before I start getting way too sleepy because I can tell. I know when I'm getting sleepy and I need to go.
You can tell I'm too far gone when you say, "Hey Jeff, are you okay?" And I go, "I'm fine." I'm fine is Jeff code for I'm anything but fine.
Oh no, the worst one was an actual live action party when you just lived down the street from me, and went back to my house afterwards, and that was not.
That was not good.
That was not good.
I believe this beer was involved.
That beer was involved. It actually was. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's a good thing we were only 2 blocks apart.
Yes.
And I had to have the neighbor's wife walk me home. Oh.
That was fun though. Still fun.
That was a good. Yeah. That's Jeff code for where's the nearest couch. I actually have a couch in my office here.
That's
right
good.
There.
Yeah.
I've used it a couple times. Jeff almost made it to the couch one night. Careful.
Yeah.
The Australians invade the after party and kept it going. Yep.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they tend to jump on in the wee hours of the Pacific morning, and they're like 7 a.m. I can start drinking now.
And Australian's like a good breakfast beer, just like anybody else, so it's fine.
All right. So EVGA is switching, trying to come up with a new hardware line. They're looking at the vertical takeoff and landing series of graphics cards.
The VTOL graphics cards.
I was going to put that as the title, EVGA VTOL GPUs, but I wasn't sure how many people would get it.
Yeah.
It's the Harrier lineup
the Harrier jet of video cards.
For those who are unaware, there was a story that came out last week about Amazon's game New Worlds was potentially bricking and frying various series of graphics cards, and one of the most affected was the RTX 3090.
And that's one card you don't want to get fried. You just spent like a couple grand on it, and then it goes poof in a puff of smoke. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed.
So yeah, people logging into the game New World on Amazon, occasionally their graphics cards were just dying, and it's not really something that happens all that often. Like, you hear this in the underbelly of Reddit, like ask hardware and things like that. Looking for tech support, going, I played this game and now my graphics card doesn't work. Was it the game? No, it was your graphics card, dummy.
Yeah.
But no, this game actually caused these graphics cards to fail, but because of an underlying potential issue in the graphics card firmware, that there was just a mismatch of two things that kind of hit each other in the face. One of them was New World, in their loading scenes, happens to render the loading scene as a 3D render. You'll see this in I'm trying to think of an equivalent. I think Half-Life 2 did this.
Yeah.
If you have fraps open, so going back to like using fraps and having your little frame counter in the corner, if you have fraps open, as soon as you're into the title screen on Half-Life 2, the game is 3D rendering, and it never leaves 3D render mode. Typically, during a loading screen, you will switch from 3D to 2D mode.
Yeah.
Because it's just a static image, or maybe a really simple
menu or something like that. Yeah.
And so the problem is your graphics card is capable of rendering that image trillions of times per second. And so if it's trying to render in 3D mode, it's going to try to render each frame as quickly as possible. When it's rendering in 2D mode, it goes, I just need to display 60 of these in a second, and I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
And so there is a difference between 2D computation and 3D computation. So this was a double-edged sword. Number one, New World, in their loading screens and certain aspects of the game, such as in menus and whatnot, left 3D animation, or left 3D rendering enabled. And also had very simple scenes to render. So the graphics card was literally trying to render JPEG images at like 1 trillion frames per second, which the graphics card saw this activity and went, holy crap, I need to turn my fans up, and turned them up in the neighborhood of 200,000 RPM, which shorted out the PWM circuits on them.
Yeah. Basically, we gotta go fast. Right.
Yeah. I've had drones that take off slower.
Yeah, no doubt. That's yeah. And apparently, I guess, and somebody even in the chat said that Anno 1600 was also another game where this affected it, but I guess there was no blowups with that one. It was all just New Worlds, because that's, I guess, the hot MMO right now that people are trying out.
Yep.
And so it's the good thing is it's probably fixable with the firmware update.
Yes.
So
or a game update, or both, hopefully.
Are both up. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, exactly. People who just bought that, people like Jeff who just got the 3090, not going to want to try new worlds until you figure this out.
Right.
One way or the other.
Sorry, I think my cat is trying to pick my lock on my door.
No, there was. I think I saw a video actually of
I'm gonna let the cat in. Keep talking.
Okay, so I think there was an actual video of it happening to him real time when it was going, and it was just smoke pouring out of the top of his thing, and the whole thing just shut off after that. And that guy was very pissed. I would be pissed too. I would be extremely sad and pissed, and then you go through all the stages of grief at that point. It's like a child died or something like that.
Cats are dicks, man.
Sometimes. Oh yeah, sometimes.
So Ram can open my office door. Okay, full disclosure. We have just like the bar handle so he can grab it and pull it down. Mm-hmm. And numerous times I have specifically closed my office door without Rambo in the room. Like he's in the hallway and I'm staring at him as I close the door behind me. And I'll go upstairs to bed and I'll come down in the morning and my office door is still closed, but Rambo is inside. I've also come downstairs and my door is wide open and he's sleeping on my chair. So it's like, he can open my door.
He knows how to get in.
He knows how to open my door.
Yeah.
But what he likes to do is if he knows I'm in here and he wants in here, he will walk up to the door and then he'll rattle the handle a couple of times and then he'll sit down and wait for me to let him in. And so he was just doing that. So I was hearing ka-chink, ka-chink, like, and I'm seeing the handle jump and I'm like, okay, I'll go let the cat in.
Yeah.
I open the door and he's sitting at the door. And as soon as I open it, he just kind of like sits there, stares at me. We lock eyes and I went, "Were you coming in?" And he turns around and walks away.
Walks out. He's like, "Nope."
No.
So yeah, my cat, when she wants to come in, well, she's outside. And if she wants to come on from the outside to the inside, especially if I'm downstairs watching TV, we have, a sliding screen door on our back deck.
Mm-hmm.
And what she'll do is she will climb to the top of that screen door and shake it. So it makes a big rattling noise because I'm right there on the couch usually watching TV. And then I just hear this from the cat. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I go open the sliding glass door and the cat's just hanging on there looking at me. Meow. And then she'll hop down and come inside.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my gosh, cat.
Anyway, there is good news to this story. EVGA has said they will honor the warranty on these cards. And there's quite a few people chiming in that EVGA has the easiest RMA experience. I've been through the EVGA RMA experience a couple times as a consumer. Before I had EVGA contacts, before I had like personal cell numbers and crap like that. Seriously, I had a power supply fail years ago. I literally just submitted a ticket. That day I had a shipping label to return mine. And then like 4 days later, I had a new power supply on my doorstep. It's like, that's awesome. And then famously, I think it was video 8 or 9. Like I hadn't done many videos on YouTube and my GTX 1080 for the win card caught fire. Like literally shot fire out the back of it. I went through the RMA process for that card and they sent me a brand new card. They went, cool. Yeah. And I wasn't even the original owner of that card. I just said, hey, I have this card. It was bought around this time. And here's the problem with it.
Nice.
And they said, yeah, here you go. Same deal. Like I had a new graphics card within 5 days.
And that's good, because especially you're going to have a spike of just panic and despair. Mm-hmm. And then you go through the whole RMA process with EVGA and you're like, okay, I feel better now.
Right. Yep. So yeah, there is good news. Now there were some other graphics cards that were affected by this. It wasn't just EVGA, but EVGA is taking the brunt of the coverage because they're the most affected card. Sorry, one sec.
Oh, we have chatting going on.
Sorry, just had to respond to something. Lenovo, take notes. let me tell you about my couple of Lenovo experiences. They were not that good. So this was even on the corporate side. Like we had corporate accounts, and we had bought dozens, if not hundreds, of various Lenovo laptops over the 6 to 12 month period. And we had one with I think one that refused to charge, and another with just like a straight up failed SSD. And God, the whole process took like 4 weeks for each of them. And it was multiple steps, like submit a ticket. And then they say, hey, have you tried restarting your computer yet? Like 3 days later.
No, what? Restarting it?
Right.
I didn't think I had to do that.
Right. And then you respond, did you read the ticket? Because it says the computer won't turn on right now. Okay, well, we want you to run through these troubleshooting steps first. And, first off, unplug your computer from the wall.
It's like the same thing whenever you have like an internet problem. They think, okay, Did you try restarting your router? Yes, I restarted. Yeah. Would you please do it again anyway? I'm like, yes, we've done all these things already.
I'm reminded of this Christopher Titus joke where he had the police on speed dial because his girlfriend was beating him, and the police wouldn't believe him, except for like one guy in the department, and so he's like, hello, my name is Christopher Titus. I'm at blah, 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 Los Angeles. You know what? Just let me speak to Chris. And then it's like, hey man, what's up? Yes, she's doing it again. And I've actually had that relationship with HP in the past. Mm-hmm. Like I call into their call center at a specific time of day, hoping I will get the rep that will actually help me.
Right. Yeah. Well, they all have scripts to run off of, and they just read the scripts. And that's, and if the script doesn't work, then it goes up the chain, right?
Yeah.
And you always get the script reader first.
Yep. I will say what has worked for me in the past has been you explain what the problem is, and they say, have you tried like, hey, I have no internet. Have you tried unplugging your modem? Mm-hmm. Okay, here's where I'm going to stop you. Let's pretend that I know what I'm talking about, and I'll pretend that you know what you're talking about. So here's the exact issue: is I'm seeing about an 8% packet loss whenever I send more than about 100 kilobits in a single packet.
Yeah.
And whatnot. It's an on and off issue, and here's what I've tracked it down to. It is not the modem. It's not the connection. It's not even the signal getting in via the cable. We've been through all those troubleshooting steps before. Yes, I've restarted. Yes, I've done this. I know networking. The problem is with you. Mm-hmm. What can we do? And I've had a couple texts just instantly. You can hear like Cherry Blues going in the background. It's like, oh yes, I got it. Yeah, and like, hold on a second here. Oh yes, hold on. I see the problem. It's a firmware issue with one of our previous switches. Let me just jump you over to another node. Okay, try it now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, those are always good times.
Such smooth tech support.
Yeah.
Or it's like that Parks and Rec with Ron Swanson when he goes to like a Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And he comes and okay, can I help you? It's like, I know more than you. Know more than you. Yeah. No, my not me, but a coworker of mine had an experience one time where there was a regional outage. Mm-hmm. So the provider for our provider was out, and we had gigabit full duplex with a redundant route, and both of them were down and whatnot. And all we had was like fax lines that were on because they were still on our old POTS systems. And so we were calling from a fax line via an extension cord, like 150 feet down the hallway. Wow. And like trying to troubleshoot this issue and get a estimated resolution time for it. And so we called in to our normal tech support line, got kind of passed up to tier 2 and whatnot. Finally, we're explaining this, and he goes, you know what, I'm gonna transfer you. And the phone rang like 12 times. And we're like, great, we're gonna get disconnected. And it was Roy from IT Crowd going, yeah, he's sitting there
doing that number. And finally he answers the phone and goes, knock. and which is Network Operations Center, if you don't know, NOC, N-O-C. NOC. And he goes, "Hi, my name is X, and I'm calling from blah, and we seem to be..." And he didn't even get like the entire sentence out. He goes, "Yeah, hold on." Click, like he's just jamming on whatever mechanical keyboard he's on. And my coworker, swear to God, goes, "Hey, can I get a callback number just in case we get disconnected?" And the guy goes, "It's already fixed. Nice try." Click.
Bye. You just got like some guy,
nice try, son.
some guy who's permanently glued to his chair who just like knows everything.
Yep.
He got connected to the network god.
It's the Unix wizard with the beard down to here.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. He's got it all.
Yep. No, that was the most glorious conversation to ever observe in my life. Hey, could I get a callback number in case we get... Nice try, kid. Yeah. Click.
This guy's never done tech support in his life, and he never wants to do it again.
Nope. No, this dude did 10 years of tech support, so he never has to answer the phone again.
Exactly.
Which is why it rang 12 times.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Yeah. The phone is not coated in Cheeto dust because he never picks the phone up.
That's right. Cheetos, no, that's lowbrow. He's on like flaming hot Doritos.
He's got the Parmesan cheese popcorn.
Yeah.
The smart puffs.
You're right. Yeah, he's more of like a cheese ball kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
More sophisticated like that, yeah.
So, a couple of people were jumping into the chat going, "I just joined. What in the world is up with that title?" That was kind of the lead story going on by a number of different outlets in the last 24 to 48 hours because the most public one was Dell added a disclaimer to their Alienware Aurora R12 systems saying we can no longer ship these systems to Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, Hawaii, or Vermont. And I did that from memory.
That's good.
That's right. To be fair, I just went the West Coast minus Alaska, and then there's Colorado and Vermont. So wasn't there. But they said we can no longer ship there because of consumer laws that have gone into effect. Now, what are these laws, you might ask? Well, this is actually part of the... Gosh, what did they call it? Now I'm drawing a blank. I did the states by name. Give me a break.
That's as far as you got.
California Energy Consumption Tier 2. Yep. So California is passed this law back in 2016. That was a tiered response or a tiered implementation of consumer product energy usage and how can we reduce it. Now, this is going to be controversial and it's going to be an issue. And in my opinion, energy conservation laws need to happen, but at the same time, targeting systems on this fine of a scale is
a bit much.
Wrought with problems and stepping over $1 to pick up a dime. So, for those who don't know, the California Energy Commission Tier 2 went into effect on July 1st of 2021. It is measured with desktop computer systems, mobile gaming systems, and clients with an ES of 250 or less. That is an expandability score of 250 or less. They can only be rated to draw 50 kilowatts per year, plus the applicable adders in table V8, which is a table in the law itself. If you get an expandability score of 250 to 420, then you can draw 80 kilowatts per year. And if you get an ES of 425 to 690, no more than 690, you can draw up to 100 kilowatts per year. The expandability score is a table of specs that your system has. One of the specs is a PCI X16 slot. That spec gets you 100 points.
Yeah. which is
under that law, I would not be able to buy a system that has my Asus rack Rome D8-2T motherboard in it because it has 7 PCI Express X16 expansion slots, and they are all electrically wired X16. That board is illegal in 6 states. That should be the title of my next video.
You got contraband.
Right.
Yeah. Black market Jeff.
Right. Now here's the rub. It's illegal to buy that system built first party. Dell cannot sell you a system turnkey. Open box, plug in, go.
You can build it yourself.
You can build it yourself. The parts are not regulated at all. Dell has terrible power supplies. Not so fast, my friend. Part of the California Energy Consumption Act is that, or Energy Commission Act, is that all power supplies sold by OEMs must be 80 plus gold rated.
Oh, that's good.
Dell does not have terrible power supplies. They might be under-spec'd compared to what you are used to putting in, but I've always said that we overbuy on power supplies all the time. Not necessarily with ITX power supplies because they're not as many phases. They're not lower in components. There's not as many components and not as many filters in between. And sometimes with high demand items, you can overpeak it for a certain amount of time and blow it up.
Yeah.
So if you have an ITX system that's drawing like 700 watts, it's probably a good idea to get an 850 or a 900 watt if you can, although they only make, let's back that up, 600 watt ITX system, it's probably a good idea to buy an 850. Whereas if you have a 400 watt system, it's probably a good idea to buy a 650. As far as normal power supplies, the 80% curve is kind of a good curve to live in, where if you actually do the wattage calculation for systems, and your system is determined to draw 540 watts, which guaranteed most of your computers that you're on right now draw below that. They draw less than that. But you have an 800 watt power supply.
Well, I mean, maybe you want to put 1,000 more hard drives in there. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, even my rack server, my file server, it has dual 1,100 watt power supplies for redundancy.
That's way. Well, I mean, you don't.
It also has 24 SAS connections on it.
That's got a bit. Yeah.
It draws 500 watts.
Yeah, most desktops are not going to go crazy. It's the most of the power draws from the video card. Anyway.
Right. Yeah. Usually, my main editing rig, when I'm fully taxing it, can draw like 550, 600, and that's an RTX 3090 and a 5950X. Like, it's the fastest consumer level system that you can build. 550 watts.
I think just a lot of people want a comfortable overhead anyway. They're like, I don't want to have to deal with figuring out power consumption, calculations to figure out if my PC's crashing. I'm just gonna give it a good 800 gold, rated power supply, and I'll be good. I'll be good there.
So this is not the last step in the California Energy Commission. The next step is also going to target high refresh rate monitors.
See, that's not going to be.
That's going to be a point of contention with many of folk. So, I mean, right now the issue is that the Aurora R12, if it was ran for what they say an average day of a gamer is, which is like 2 hours or something like that, and over the course of 12 months, it draws more than 100,000 watts, or 100 kilowatts, then it can no longer be sold. But they're also looking at, hey, you don't need all 240 hertz. You'd probably be fine with 90. Because higher refresh rate monitors draw more power. And that's something I'm not okay with. Novella Hub, did you replace your 6900 XT craft computing? Yes. I replaced my 6900 XT with my scalped 3090, mainly because I was having an atrocious time with Adobe Premiere. It would not necessarily randomly crash, but I would have rendering issues galore at certain codecs and certain bit rates. And I wanted the top of the line graphics card. I either wanted a 6900 XT or a 3090. At the time, I couldn't buy a 3090, so I found a 6900 XT at only 70% above retail, and I bought that. And Adobe Premiere hates that card. Whether it's drivers, whether it's programming, whether it's first party, third party, I don't care. Adobe Premiere hates that card. And so it's sitting on my desk right now outside the window staring at the 3090 doing its job. I don't want to put it in another system just because I'm so pissed off at it. I'm kidding. I'm going to put it in another system. But
I'm getting thirsty. I got to open my second beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the Aloha Death.
All right. I'm genuinely curious to see what you think about this one.
Yeah. Well, it's got the coconut in it.
It's got the coconut. And as we always say, coconut is one of those hardest flavors to actually hold on to through the entire brewing process.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm not going to give any spoilers. I just want you to
it definitely smells coconutty. There's a lot of coconut aroma in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's got some good like coconut dark chocolate. Outside of the thin body, it's really good.
Yes, that's my one complaint. Is the body is just a little lacking.
Yeah,
it's only what, a 6.8.
Yeah, it's not a very high ABV, but
yeah,
you expect with it being this roasty, it kind of would have like maybe a little bit more body. But man, that coconut and that it's kind of roasty, coffee, chocolatey.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. No, I really
and
dig
then
this.
That coconut just kind of holds on.
Mm-hmm. It does. I wonder if I hope they didn't use artificial coconut.
I think it's real.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure it's real.
Well, they're not going to say, but it tastes delicious. I'm not going to complain. It's really good.
So Skull listed our beers again, and he said Jeff, Pelican Brewing Company, Mother of All Storms 2020, still. and for the rest of the evening, I'm sure. And for the rest of the evening. Actually, this is all I have left of it out of that whole bottle.
That's pretty good. I can tell. Well, we'll see if you start doing your hiccups. Then we know we're getting there.
Well, I will say I do have the patented Barnacles ball cooling fan below my desk.
Oh, right, there you go.
It's helping kind of
circulate
for me. Yeah,
get it moving. Yeah, it keeps you waking up. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, like fourth time Tony has said Silverstone Technology DS 380B supports 12 drives, an 11-inch graphics card. Are they all hot swap? Hold on.
Is this a case or
it's
is it
a case?
Yeah.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 up front in a hot swap configuration, and then you can like slide 3 more in, kind of.
Oh yeah.
It fits an SFX power supply, full size ATX power supply, fits a full size graphics card, an ATX power supply. Looks like an alright system.
Yeah.
Airflow is not going to be great. It's kind of thin. It doesn't have a lot of ventilation. And with that many hard drives, especially if you're in the high capacity range, that does concern me a little bit, especially since the front literally has no intakes at all. So your hard drives are just kind of bake in the front while everything else gets all the cool air. Or no, sorry. There's 2 120s pointing right at the hard drives. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's 2 120s on the side. That's not a bad little system. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. There you go. Oh, and Tony says he's getting it tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
there we go.
You wanted me to review it to affirm your purchase is what you wanted.
He wants confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias, yes.
Yeah.
What I will say, it looks like a great system. It all depends on what you put into it. And it all depends on your expectations.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, it's got cooling for the hard drives. It fits a full-length 320 millimeter dual slot graphics card. Full ATX power supply. Yeah, why not?
Should work.
Should work.
I think we're done with all the tech stuff. We're on to some.
Yes. Apparently, putting pickle in cheap beer makes anything taste better.
Yeah, I thought this was this would be something right up John's alley. It'd be good for a review. So this is, I actually saw this.
Nope.
Was it on Reddit, or I can't remember where I saw it mentioned. Maybe it was Twitter or something, where somebody was saying that he's got some older clients that come to their bar and they order like a Budweiser or a Bud Light, and they ask for a bit of pickle juice to splash into their beer, and they say it makes it taste better. And it just blew up from there, because there's a lot of people were saying, "Oh yeah." There was like a whole
it's
people
totally
saying,
a thing.
It's like, "Oh, it's totally a thing. It's totally a thing." And so, I mean, I don't mind pickled stuff. I actually like a good pickle.
I do. I take offense to it, sir.
I know some people don't. It's an acquired taste. And
Yeah.
I've had some pickle beers too. I didn't hate them, but I didn't like them. It wasn't something I'd like totally drink. But I don't know. This could be something. John's done quite a few pickle beer reviews, but he's never done. Let's add some pickles to some crappy beer and see if it's better.
What I will say is, my brother-in-law, I don't do shots very often.
Right.
Usually it's with a particular group of friends at a particular location. Like we have certain rituals that we do. My brother-in-law, though, loves doing shots, and his shot of choice is Jameson Black Label. Great,
not a bad,
great selection.
I personally wouldn't shoot it. I'd sip it, but you know.
Honestly, I'll do Jameson Black as a shooter too. Jameson Black, Gentleman Jack is another really good shooter.
Yeah, it's not a bad shooter.
Yeah, and so I myself, I don't shoot a lot of liquor, but occasionally I will take a couple of shots. Anyway, Jameson Black is his perchant for shooting, and he backs it with pickle juice. He does Jameson with a pickle back.
I'm not opposed to that. I do not hate pickles or pickle juice. I wouldn't drink it straight. I can see how it works as an accent to stuff. But I'm weird like that. I kind of like, I think because I grew up in a family with a lot of kids. Yeah. All the good stuff got eaten fast. So I've learned to like stuff that they didn't like.
Meanwhile, I was the oldest by 11 years, so I got first pick.
So that way I can get what I liked and they wouldn't touch it. Yeah. And that still applies today. I love a good like Myers and Coke.
Oh yeah.
But Angie, my wife, won't touch it. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So like I'll go to the liquor store and get a rum.
You turned me on to Myers rum, and I gotta say, I'm
Myers,
a fan.
Yeah, I like it. I like that blackstrap. She won't touch it. So if I want a bottle of something to myself, I will buy some Jameson because I know she will not drink it. But then, of course, you know, the next day and the bottle's like, you know, all the way down here. I'm like, that was all me. That was me. Yeah. I can't blame anybody else but me.
Yep. No, I actually have a bottle of Myers right up here.
Yeah, I do love a good Myers. I cannot drink it straight. I think Myers straight by itself is not very good, but it makes a great mixed drink.
That one right there is Myers.
But
yes.
and that's I like black licorice. A lot of people don't like licorice, and so I also like pickled things. I like a lot of pickled things. A lot of people don't. So as far as like putting it in beer, not. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of Gosés, which is like a salted beer. But I don't know. I'd try it. This is an idea for John to get a taste test with some pickle juice or just pickles in general. Throw it in a crappy beer, see how it tastes. We can get John to throw up or something on camera. It's always good stuff.
I would definitely pay money to see that. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. But I'd love to see John try to choke it down.
Yeah, especially with the pickle in there. I don't know. I'd probably eat the pickle because I like the pickle. I'd let it soak in some beer and then eat the pickle, see how it tastes.
No,
It's okay.
No,
I mean, like you get the Italian cherry at the bottom of an old fashioned. It tastes good.
See, it's different.
Get a pickle
totally
at the bottom
different.
of a crappy beer.
Don't you sully my maraschino cherry. My Luxardo at the bottom of an old fashioned.
It's the
How
same,
dare you, sir?
It's the same concept. It's like the essence of the drink kind of soaks into it, and then you get to try it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I've tried ouzo. I actually love a sambuca. The Romanov sambuca is excellent. One of my favorites.
Yep. Let's see what's next. Beer contest calls out for Loon collars.
Yes. So Kugel, the maker of everyone's favorite shandy, because it's everywhere now.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's a good summer beer. Nice and light and lemony. And
I will say I'm partial to the Widmer shandy.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but that's West Coast, East Coast.
It's West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah.
So they're doing a contest, and the basis of this contest is who makes the best loon call, which the bird call basically.
Yep.
But the winner will basically get a a loon-shaped remote control floatable cooler that is worth $20,000.
If this isn't the most Wisconsin crap contest I've ever heard in my life.
It seems like the most worthless, expensive prize you could get.
To be fair, I didn't read this article. That's my legitimate reaction.
You get this giant duck that you could cool beers in that will float on the water that's also a remote control.
This is just the cooler in duck form.
Yes, yeah, but it floats and it's remote control, so you can be on the edge of the lake, put it in there, and then just take the beer out to people in the boats out there, whatever you want to do.
By the way, I say the cooler because that was a Portland, Oregon Kickstarter.
Yeah, it was a
our claim to Kickstarter fame,
which I don't even think went anywhere. I think they ended up it was too expensive to manufacture or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they only shipped 400 of them or something like that, and they went, we're out of money.
Yeah, it's too much.
We spent it all on hookers and blow. Right.
I mean, if the contest is okay, whatever, that's the contest, but the prize of the contest, I thought was just hilarious.
Yep.
I mean, it's a one of a kind thing. Would I want it? No, but if I want it for free, I mean, yeah, okay.
Okay, so here's the actual wording from the article. The Loonenkugel, by the way, it's called the Loonenkugel.
Yeah, it's called the Loonenkugel.
Is valued at $20,000 and is designed to keep a 12-pack ice cold while paddling across the lake via remote control. The Loonenkugel can also be used in pools, but is designed especially for lakes where Midwestern loons can be found.
Well, God forbid that there's somebody out there hunting loons at the time, and they just destroy
my
$20,000. Not only is the $20,000 Loonenkugel gone, your 12-pack is probably screwed as well.
Mm-hmm. I know 12 people in Wisconsin went, I'd still drink it.
Yeah, it's got some lead pellets in it. That's fine. That's whatever. You just spit out the lead. It's fine. Yeah. You ain't gonna do nothing.
I've spent a week in Wisconsin, and that's all I need to get the entire breadth of what they have to offer.
So you tried some cheese too, right?
They kept trying to sling cheese at me and cheese curds and everything else.
Yeah, but we got Tillamook, yeah.
We have Tillamook. Yeah. And they're like, what's that? And I went, oh, it's the cheese that we have, but it's nationwide because it's that good.
Yeah,
there's a reason you don't have to come to Oregon to get Tillamook, is because Tillamook is the cheese.
Yeah.
They took offense to that.
They do take some pride in the cheese, but
they take pride in the cheese, and they take pride in the New Glarus spotted cow.
Yeah, and I've had the New Glarus spotted cow. It's not bad. but it's not.
It's certainly a beer.
It's a beer. I mean, it's not horrible, but I wasn't super impressed by it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you put your entire self-worth into something that someone else does better.
Yeah, I know.
And like I was gosh, I had to fly into Green Day. And if have you ever had to fly into that airport?
No, not.
Have you ever flown out of the Eugene airport?
No, I've never had to fly to the Eugene airport.
How about Salem?
Yes, the Salem airport. Yes, I have.
Green Day is smaller than both.
Really?
Yes.
Green. Okay. All right.
Green Day Airport.
Green Day or Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Me.
I was gonna say the band has its own airport.
Why was I saying Green Day? I don't know.
I don't know.
Green Bay.
I thought you were saying Green Bay, but I was just hearing you wrong. And then Green Day. And then, okay.
Nope. I think I was saying Green Day.
Okay.
Who knows why?
Anyway, step out from that ledge, my friend.
Yeah, the Green Bay airport is smaller than both the Eugene and the Salem airport.
That's pretty small.
Like you had Terminal A and Terminal B.
Wow.
Right. And like 6 gates on each. I had on the way back, I want to say I had to wait for my flight for like 3 hours or something like that. Like the plane was delayed and had a couple issues.
Wow.
And so I got well acquainted with the 2 terminals in the Green Bay airport.
Which has like a news shack and a snack stand.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong at all. There was not a single restaurant in that entire place. They had a news stand, which was the newspaper and way overpriced, Wisconsin merchandise. Mm-hmm. And then they also had like this little snack bar, which was, I kid you not, like half the size of this room. And I think I ended up buying like a pre-made deli sandwich and a soda or something like that. It still cost me like $12.
Yeah.
And the lady behind the counter could not stop asking me if I had tried the cheese curds yet. It's like, lady, I'm leaving town. Number 1. Number 2, I'm from Oregon where we have better cheese than you.
Yeah.
And oh my God, hell hath no fury.
Those the garlic dill cheese curds out of Tillamook is like that's some of the best things I've ever had. Oh, so good. Those are the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't beat the Tillamook. The cheese factory maybe a little underwhelming, but I still like their cheese. It's so good.
We do have some gaming news to get to.
We do. This one is actually the one thing that I was most excited about. And this, the whole announcement of the new Battlefield, the 2042. I saw the trailer and I was like cautiously optimistic because let's be honest, Battlefield 5 wasn't the greatest. And, okay, 2042 looks like they're going to be going back to where their strong suits are. Mm-hmm. More modern things, which is, Battlefield 3 was one of my favorite ones. And they're having, back to that kind of more modern feel. But this thing, which was just announced this week, this really, really got me excited. And that's the Battlefield Portal.
Yes. I did see this announced.
Yes.
So, yeah, this actually has me a little bit intrigued as someone who hasn't played multiplayer shooters in well over a decade.
Oh, yes. This got me so excited because the trailer basically had my whole history of playing Battlefield throughout the years in one trailer.
Yeah.
Like all the little fun things that the users came up with, mini games that they created themselves, doing the Jihad Jeep thing and having servers that only had like paddles versus knives, all the fun little things that made Battlefield great. They're making a kind of a sandbox style game mode where the person can basically put things from all different games, all different older Battlefield games, make their own rules, balance out however they want. They can have World War II versus modern if they wanted to. They can do all kinds of things. They can turn off certain weapons. They can turn off if you hate snipers, turn off snipers. No one can be a sniper, right? No vehicles. We just want all infantry, but no problem. We'll make one side super
pistols
powerful.
only.
Yeah, pistols only. Or we can have one side super powerful, but there's only like 5 of them, and then everybody else gets weak weapons, but there's like 25 of them. You can do whatever you want, and that got me super excited because basically you can play even if you get tired of the main game. You can go into this area and find all kinds of just fun stuff, and all the good stuff will bubble up to the top. Now, they're not doing every single Battlefield game, so you're not going to find stuff from Battlefield Vietnam. You're not going to find stuff from my favorite 2142.
2142 was great.
Oh god, I love 2142. I still miss it from time to time.
Yes, but the majority of the battlefields are there. So Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, 2142.
No, they're going to be. I think it's Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, which was a lot of people's favorite, and Battlefield 3. Okay. I don't know if they're going to add more later. They might. If they find this to be a big money maker for them, I wouldn't put it past EA for them to start, monetizing.
They usually find a way to squeeze juice out of rocks.
They do. That's EA being EA personally, but this concept for Battlefield, I'm real excited about it. Because I've had, that's like some of the most fun I had was going on the servers where it's like, okay, melee only, or pistols only, or stuff like that. But it was always a server rule. It was never enforced by anybody. It was just like you didn't abide by the rules, people would just kick you, right?
Right.
This is something that the users can actually enforce through the software. So I am. I don't want to be like, I've never been like a day one buyer, but this might actually.
Are you gonna?
I might buy this day one because of it. I usually wait a couple months. I know. I'm shocked myself.
I don't think you've ever paid more than $40 for a game.
No, I never have. I mean, honestly, you've seen my Steam collection. If I paid more than $40 for that game,
You've also never bought one within 6 months of release. So
no, I know.
There's that too.
I mean, a few, but not that many.
Yeah.
Not that many.
Skyrim, Borderlands 2, end of list.
Yeah, that's basically it. No, I think Skyrim I got like first day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got Skyrim. Was one of my early ones. Yeah. Actually, my most shameful day one purchase, very shameful, was the last Duke Nukem.
Oh,
that was really.
I had No Man's Sky. That's my last. It's turned into a great game.
It's redeemed itself.
But for 2 years, it was my most regretted purchase. Like I spent $60, and here's the deal. With Steam, you get a 2-hour return window,
right?
And so you can play the game for up to 2 hours, and if you don't like it, you can return it. For as big of the scope as No Man's Sky was, I was into it 13 hours before I realized I'd been duped.
Yeah.
And so I still reached out and went, this is not the game that
was
it said it was, because I kind of took my time on the first planet going, let's explore the fauna. Let's collect some resources. Let's really build our ship up before we try to go into orbit. I went into orbit and went to like another moon or something like that, because that's all the resources I had to get. And I landed on that, and it's like, this is the same damn thing.
This is nothing. Yeah. This is nothing like what they said.
I've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so one of the jokes in my old office was the Jurassic Park on the accordion playing with No Man's Sky.
Oh yes. Where was it?
Yeah. That whole thing. God, that's so good. Whenever there was something that would go wrong, one of my coworkers would turn on that video. Always gets a laugh.
Yeah. Expected result and actual result. Two different things. Yeah.
Yeah. What was promised? Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I hope this Battlefield is not like that. I am optimistic about it. I was not super thrilled with 5. I think it's probably the least Battlefield I've played, and I even played the what was the cops and robbers one that they had.
Is that Bad Company? What was that?
No, there was a Battlefield that was like it was like cops and robbers. Basically, it wasn't like military. It was police and criminals. I can't remember the name, but it wasn't. I don't think it was done by DICE. It was a EA subsidiary, but even that one I played more than 5. Which it's like that was a blip. It was not a very big. Yeah, Hardline. There was. Thank you.
So okay, Hardline. Okay, yeah.
Battlefield Hardline. Right. Yeah.
I forgot that was Battlefield because that was a little different.
It was so un-Battlefield.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Did have a couple commenters or chatters. Guffy, love from India, sir. Thank you. That's awesome that you're watching in India. And then we got another one later on. Where was that one at? Master Bob says, "Hi there, Jeff. One of your fans from Malaysia."
Malaysia, wow.
Hello.
All the way over there.
I love seeing countries that I have not seen before. I got a Turkmenistan the other day.
Really?
Right?
Wow. You're gonna have to get some like Azerbaijans in your collection.
Azerbaijani.
Then you know you've made it.
Right.
Then you know you've made it.
I skipped that GTA episode, just so everyone knows.
Which one?
Did you have to play the GTA 5 Azerbaijani mission?
No.
That was the torture mission with what's his name? With crazy dude, Trevor.
Oh, yeah. No, I played every single mission. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, describe him. He's left-handed, and you like pull the trigger and cap this one dude. And it's like, was that him? I don't know, but we hit someone. Cool, mission accomplished. David asks, Jeff, any thoughts on IT certs? Have a few in going for Cisco CCNP. Cisco CCNP is a great certification to have. That's the network protocol certification. What I will say is Cisco, and this is no offense to them because the motto goes that no one's ever been fired for buying Cisco. But Cisco likes to use their own nomenclature for standard network terms and kind of claim them as their own. And so you will try to translate your skills into other architectures and run into a brick wall because trunk port on Cisco doesn't mean the same thing as trunk port on every other switch that you will deal with. And so while it is a great certification to have, and if you get brought in by a Cisco house or, networking MSP that happens to deal with a lot of Cisco clients, you'll be right at home. But from a networking standpoint, yeah, CCNP is better than CCNA. Fully agree, Skull. Cisco likes to use their own terminology for a lot of standardized things. Yeah. That no one else uses.
They just want to be special.
They want to be special, and they want to keep everything in-house. Yeah. And they do a great job at that. And like I said, no one's ever been fired for buying Cisco. And so you're going to find work. But make sure that while you're learning the Cisco nomenclature, you also learn the open standard nomenclature. So when you hear trunk port, you think gateway.
You need a cross-reference there. You got to think there. Yeah. Cross-reference.
Novella Hub says hi from Shakopee. Oh, thank you. David, watch some of Network Chuck and David Bombal if you haven't stumbled upon them yet on YouTube. Yeah, Network Chuck is a fantastic resource for a lot of that kind of higher end stuff. Myself, I'm decent with networking. When you get to layer 3, my eyes start to gloss over. So, and it's not that I have no interest, it's just that I have too many other things in my head. I can't fit layer 3 networking. So
you can't get that network lasagna.
Nope.
It's just 2 layers. You can't get the 3-layer lasagna.
Yep. I get physical and logical, and once you get beyond that, I'm done. Right.
Is that something that Cisco uses as a terminology? Network lasagna?
Network lasagna?
That would be great.
They probably don't unless someone else did, and then they'd use it in a different way.
I think they're going to listen to this. They're going to use that. Network lasagna is
totally
great.
Will.
That's a good one. Oh, getting there. Almost towards the bottom.
Really good. Might have to open another one. It's only 9:30.
I was just going to say, we're...
I had one in mind that I was going to crack open for the after show. I might crack it open 20 minutes early. So
there you go.
We'll see. We do have some phenomenal news to get to.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this is late breaking news as of like 6 hours ago. For those who are familiar with classic internet trolling, with what's another way we can say this, Steve? I'm trying to give it away without giving it away.
This has
give it away now.
This has been a thing for, I want to say, almost 10 years, maybe more.
Probably more like 15. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a permanent thing within the internet culture.
Yes.
If you don't know what it is.
So what I will say is it used to be ASCII Goatsy, and do not Google that if you haven't. And what took it over,
just Goatsy in general,
was something so much more wholesome, and that was the Rickroll. So we went from ASCII Goatsy, and then we had like 5 years of just like random crap, and then somewhere around 2005, 2006, it became the Rickroll. It became the never gonna give you up. It became that. Well, the YouTube video "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley hit 1 billion views today.
1 billion.
1 billion with a B.
Now, do you think Rick Astley gets any of that? Does he get any income for that?
That is his own personal channel, so yes.
Oh, so yeah, he gets like a ton of money.
Yeah. No, that dude for that song probably never had to work a day in his life based on existing record deals, and then he posted the music video to YouTube, and holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you make for a 2.4 million view hit.
Right.
That's been very good to me.
Yeah.
Let's multiply that by about 100.
Yes. Billion. Man.
Sorry, by 1,000.
I mean yeah. I mean, that guy, because Rick Astley was very popular in the 80s. I think it was maybe early 90s, I think. Kind of waned off. Didn't really produce too much. But then the meme took off.
Right.
And he doesn't have to work a day in his life.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
There was a couple years ago, he actually went on stage kind of unannounced with drawing a blank. Dave Grohl. Hit me. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Dave Grohl is
good Lord.
Soundgarden? Not Soundgarden. I say Soundgarden.
Smells like Teen Spirit. Come on.
No,
Nirvana.
No, it smells like Teen. Yeah, Nirvana.
Yeah. No, he walked on stage unannounced and did one of Dave Grohl's songs, and then they did "Never Gonna Give You Up" in the style of Nirvana.
Grunge.
Grunge rock, early grunge 90s rock, and oh god, it was good. Foo Fighters. Thank you.
Foo Fighters. Yes, that's
Foo Fighters. Yeah. Like I said, I'm ashamed that I drew a blank on that. Okay. The
Mothers of All Storms will do that to you.
Check out his cover of Foo Fighters. Yeah, no, he did a phenomenal. Was it Everlong that he did on his YouTube channel? Rick Astley did. I want to say Rick Astley did Everlong on his YouTube channel. And then he actually went on stage with Foo Fighters and did "Never Gonna Give You Up." And they're both amazing.
Oh yeah. Nope. Yeah, I know. No, I remember when the whole Rick Astley Rickroll came about. I had just went on a cruise with a cruise vacation was like a week-long vacation in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend, that would be like the song we would always request.
Yeah.
For like, hey, play this song. Because it was the funniest thing at the time. It was the funniest thing. I mean, now it's just drawn on. It's like it's come full circle to where it's like so old that it's funny. Like,
yes.
It stopped being funny for a while, but then it kept going, and then now it's still funny. It's reached that loop. It's come back around.
Yeah. There's gosh, what was the old XKCD comic? There was great movies, bad movies, movies so bad they're good, Star Wars Holiday Special.
Now, one of my favorite things to watch actually is the riff tracks of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes.
Because it makes it tolerable and actually makes it funny.
Yes.
But if you tried to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special just by itself, I pity you, and I wish you.
For those who have never seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, keep in mind that they had a 12-minute long Wookiee only scene with no subtitles. 12 minutes of that.
So a small bit of trivia for the people who have not seen the Star Wars Holiday Special. Chewbacca has a family.
Yes,
he has a son. And his son's name is, does anybody know? Anyone know? Chewbacca's son, his name is Lumpy.
It's so bad it's not even on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
If anyone was going to market the ever-loving crap out of something, it would be Disney. And even Disney went, no, we're good. We don't need to show that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lumpy.
Do you remember
Chewbacca
his wife's name?
And Lumpy. I don't remember his wife's name.
It's Mala. Mala. She's from Walla Walla.
Walla Walla Mala.
She's from Walla Walla. Anyway, yeah.
Later went on and birthed a cub named Nala.
Yeah. No, it was a huge travesty. But yes, if you can find the riff tracks version of it, I highly recommend that because you'll laugh your ass off. But the actual one by itself, no.
Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that to yourself.
Don't.
There's no amount of weed in the world that's going to make it good.
Right. There's the XKCD graph.
Yeah, exactly.
Movies so bad they're good.
Yeah.
Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh yeah, I love. I've watched The Room by itself several times, and it's great.
The Family Guy Star Wars specials are better. Yes, they were. The first one is especially amazing.
Yeah.
The second two,
I liked the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials too. Those were very good.
They were great.
Yeah.
But what is that, like 15 minutes of guys playing with action figures? I mean,
yeah, basically. But they had, I think.
Oh, so you have seen the show?
Of course.
Sorry, I was referencing the last scene in the Blue Harvest special.
Oh yeah.
Where you have Seth MacFarlane and Seth Green.
Oh, and they're talking about
with each other about Robot Chicken and Family Guy.
Yep.
I have seen it. I am not a fan.
Yes, there is a Walla Walla in Washington
Don't
State.
be a dick, Dad.
That's the joke. Yes.
Yep, there is a Walla Walla, Washington.
Yep, there's a Walla
You're
Walla,
usually in the news for the wrong things too. I'll just let you know. If you make national news, it's not good.
That's where I think a good majority of that's where the Walla Walla sweet onions come from. It's Walla Walla.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. One more bit of news to get to, and that is, did anyone see the final episode of Mandalorian? By the way, minor spoilers.
I'm sure a lot of people have.
Thread. I actually haven't made it there yet. But
you haven't watched it, really?
I haven't made it all the way through.
But you know about it then?
Yeah, I'm 3/4 of the way through season 1. I have 2 kids with a third on the way. It's what it is. Mm-hmm. It took me like 4 years later to finish Breaking Bad. Like, give me a break.
Oh, God. Breaking Bad's awesome.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't I've said this before on the channel. I knew the day I had started Breaking Bad when the Breaking Bad finale happened. Mm-hmm. And I remember on the day I didn't get on Reddit, I didn't get on Twitter. Yeah. I'm like, I'm avoiding spoilers at all costs because I do not want to know how this story ends.
Yes.
And I was like in season 2 when they were in season 5. It's like, I don't want to know. And so I made it the entire workday, entire morning, everything else. And I avoided the spoilers. Mm-hmm. I'm going to listen to sports talk radio on the way home.
Yeah. And they talked about it there.
I turned on my car, hit the button for the sports talk station. And the first thing I hear is, I told you he was going to die.
It's like,
No,
that was Breaking Bad was it permeated a lot of levels of culture, including sports. Like it was like a lot of people loved that show, and it was a great show.
And of course, our local sports commentators loved to spoil TV shows for everyone on the drive home. Yeah. And so they would always talk about whatever happened on whatever the day after it happened. And so like the day after, I'm like avoiding every spoiler possible. Like I don't want to know. I'm not on Reddit. I'm not on Twitter. Well, I've not even gotten on Google today. And I work in IT for a living, because I don't want to see a Breaking Bad spoiler. And I'm like, finally, I'm in the safety of my car. I'm going to listen to like sports radio in the middle of July or something crap like that. And I turned the car on and it just went, I told you he was going to die.
You just know.
I just knew.
Yeah. That's like when, what was it?
Isaac and Sook, 1080 The Fan. Thank you, Sook.
Or was it Order of the Phoenix? Or when I mean, this is spoilers going way back. The whole Snape kills Dumbledore thing. Mm-hmm. That was like shouted out. People were like yelling it, driving by and yell because people were lining up at bookstores.
Yeah,
and they were just screaming it as they would drive by.
Snape killed Dumbledore.
Snape killed Dumbledore. And people are like, what?
Gosh, what was the insult comic dog on Conan?
Oh, Triumph.
There we go. I remember him going to the Star Wars Episode 1 premiere.
That was one of his best bits.
That was one of the best bits of all time.
Yes. Yeah. That was, I can't remember how many times I watched that bit. That was really good.
It was so good.
It was one of his
showed up
bits.
with a Spock impersonator who just flipped off all the Star Wars guys.
Yeah. What was it?
Does your mother know you are never going to have children?
He was like, oh, do you guys want spoilers? You want spoilers? Like, yeah. He's like, who gives a shit? That's basically what it was. Yeah.
Yep. Party and Talking Heads Discord chat right now.
Is that
there will be.
On? Yeah. Oh, we got some chips action going on over here. And...
Ooh, someone broke out of Bourbon County.
Oh, nice.
Skull did, huh? Skull is looking at doubling down with a 2019 brown label.
All right.
Skull, you go, my friend.
I know I'm cracking this open early, but I want to keep this thing going, so I'm gonna have my Kolsch right now.
Opening the Kolsch, yeah.
I'm doing my blood on Kolsch.
I'm gonna wait 12 minutes, and I might open something special in the after party.
There we go. All right.
So Reverend just posted the link to the after party. If you like the content you see on this channel, want to help support me in what I do, consider joining the Patreon or Float Plane. Links are in the video description or in the chat right now. Every dollar you spend really does help me keep the lights on around here, and as a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and the awesome community that is ever growing and always talking over there. Mm-hmm. And I will say, while I do strive to read every single YouTube comment and often succeed, there is too much chat for me to catch up with what I miss overnight. And that's just from the Australians.
They're chatty people.
Yeah. They're an amazing community. And I'll just go on record in saying this, in that the Patreon alone pays for room and board. It pays for me to live. Everything else goes back into business, goes back into improving and expanding the business. But Patreon has allowed me to go full time. And if it wasn't for Patreon, I'd still be working my old job and absolutely hating it. So sincerely, thank you all who have joined the Patreon. And if you're thinking about it, please think about it some more, and then actually take the dive, because it's an awesome place to be.
I remember being really young and thinking like, you'd be driving down the highway or the freeway and you'd come into a new town and you'd say population with like, a couple thousand, and then you go through and you start adding that up, and then you think, what would it be like if I just got $1 from each of those people? Just $1.
Right.
Like, I'd be rich. Yeah. That's what Patreon is. It's like I just get $1 from you.
Just
guys.
get $1 from everyone.
It's fine. Just get $1 from everybody.
And the Patreon / float plane. And I will say, if you're considering one or the other and you don't know which, I do get slightly more money from Patreon if I'm being biased. Like float plane is great, and I love float plane, and I love what they're doing over there, and it does give me a second outlet for content and a second place to host my videos, and you get everything ad free over on the float plane. That is one of the perks of it. But legitimately, I do make tenfold what I do from Patreon than what I do from float plane.
Well, it takes a lot of money to keep planes afloat, so
it does.
It makes sense.
It really does.
Yeah.
But like I said, Patreon is what truly keeps the lights on around here, and helps things keep progressing like they are. So, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for thinking about it. Thank you all for super chatting. That's also awesome. But yeah, if you haven't thought about it, and if you want to chat with me directly, seriously consider joining the Patreon or float plane. Minimum of $1 a month. You can ask me questions all the day long, and I will answer them. Yes, I'm looking at you like random business inquiry emailers and Twitter DMers. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we have to circle back and actually talk about the article.
We do.
Yeah, we did.
That's right. We didn't talk about the article. So speaking of Star Wars.
Yeah, speaking of Star Wars, go back.
So for those who haven't seen The Mandalorian end of season 2, there is a minor spoiler, which I think we've given you 5 minutes now. So we're on it. Where Luke Skywalker shows up. And it's not old Luke, decrepit, fighting, blah, 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 Luke Skywalker.
It's Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker.
It is just after Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. Forming the Jedi Academy Luke Skywalker. Not quite so old, but also has been in a motorcycle accident Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That guy. We all know him.
Yeah.
Doing flips on Dagobah, Luke Skywalker. Yeah. So here he is in all his glory. Well, there was a slight problem with Luke Skywalker appearing on The Mandalorian, and that's like he looked like hot garbage.
Yeah, he was not great. It was not great.
So it was Mark Hamill doing the voice, but it was a body double doing the acting, and the interpolation of Mark Hamill's face onto the actor's body, we'll just say it wasn't good.
Yeah, I've seen better. I was gonna say
I've seen better from Corridor Crew.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. In fact, Corridor Crew redid this scene and did a much better job than Disney did. But there was a particular video that was done by a YouTuber by the name of Shamuk, who did a deep fake of younger Mark Hamill over the Mark Hamill stand-in that they had for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he just did it for a lark.
I'll do it for fun because I think I can do better.
Yeah.
And one of the main problems was it was like they had light from over here in the scene, so the shadows are kind of being cast this way.
Yeah.
But his face had shadows being cast this way.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing made sense, and visually something was just wrong.
It was that uncanny valley thing where it looked okay. It's a human, right? But it's just.
I see Mark Hamill, but that's not Mark Hamill.
It looks not Mark Hamill. It's like somebody wearing a Mark Hamill skin, type of thing. It just didn't jive with
like an Edgar face.
Yeah, like an Edgar face.
Like an Edgar skin, like an Edgar costume.
Yeah. So it didn't quite get.
You're gonna go into the city. You're gonna buy yourself some nice dresses. In fact, you dumped his ass. But yeah, something just wasn't quite right. Yeah. So a random YouTuber named Shamuk, as well as a number of other outlets, in particular, Corridor Crew comes to mind, redid the deep fake of Mark Hamill over not Mark Hamill and made it look way better than Disney did.
Yeah.
Well, Shamuk has now been hired by Disney as a VFX artist.
Right. So yeah, so that useless project that you think it can get you a job.
Right.
It could get you a prestigious job.
Yeah.
If you got the skills and the talent and the time.
Right. Yeah. So those of you slaving away and doing, these side projects and things just for fun. I know a number of programmers and engineers and developers and VFX artists. They always just tinker for fun until they find their break and get the right interview. This is proof that doing those projects can lead to the right interview.
Right.
He posted this. They interviewed him almost immediately, and he's been working there for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So awesome story. Number one, kudos to Disney for recognizing, you know what? We didn't do the best job. Let's figure out how we can do better. Mm-hmm. And then going out and hiring talent. Because that is always the hallmark of a good studio, of a good organization, of a good management structure. Going, you know what? They did better than we did, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
We need to do better.
Yeah. I know somebody in chat, Skull said that, Shamuk's day job is VFX. But the thing is when you are going through Disney, which is also going through LucasArts, there's a notion of like, hey, look, we're a big corporation. We are supposed to be the industry standard is supposed to look great. Then you have just
Lucasfilm is the standard for visual effects.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows that, but they literally developed the art.
Right. And so when you see some single YouTuber who's just like, yeah, I do VFX, but I think I could do it better just by myself instead of like a whole team. Right. That's impressive. It gets their attention.
Yes.
I mean, there's just like several programmers who just, they used to do programming as a day job, and then they made a mod for a game, and then all of a sudden they get hired on by Valve.
Right.
That stuff happens. So, side projects, even though it may be a side project to your current job, it could bring you someplace higher. It could get you more prestige. You don't know.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. We got about 5 minutes left. Mm-hmm. Steve, you have anything good to the order? I'm out of beer, which is
I actually have to say, this blood orange Kolsch,
how's your 13?
Yes. It's 13 blood orange Kolsch by Crystal Springs. Springs. It is actually really good. I've never been overly impressed by Kolsch's. Because they're usually just
I really like Kolsch's, but they're kind of in that, for me, that same category of like Pilsner and Lager of why would I spend $9 on a craft Kolsch?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and this like that's you're right.
Yeah.
If I want a Kolsch, I want a Kolsch because it's easy drinking. It's going to be light. It's going to be kind of like a little more maltier than a lager, but that's why I grab it.
Right.
This one is very good. It's got some nice fruity orange flavors to it, like a candied orange, with some really great malt notes to it. It's a good blend. I'm kind of really digging it.
Novella Hub says, Craft Computing, can you answer my super chat? And in Novella Hub's super chat, he gives $5. Thank you, Novella Hub. I don't know how we missed that.
Yeah.
Can you explain a barley wine style of beer? Another person asked it earlier in chat. Yes. Steve would probably be the more poignant point of authority on this.
So a barley wine is basically a high gravity malt profile. You take a grain bill, and it usually has a mix of 2-row, which is the base, and crystal malts, and you can have a bunch of different malts, but you want a big high gravity. So when you have a high gravity, you will create a high ABV. And typically for a barley wine, you won't add a lot of hops to it. So think of like a craft malt liquor. That's basically what you're doing.
Right.
Malt liquor is usually a fortified beer, but a barley wine is like a high ABV malted beer, where it's like a craft malted beer with usually 10 to 14% is usually what it is.
Yeah, it's a high ABV dark malted lager, I guess is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like lagers will have just like either one or two malts, usually light.
Right.
But a barley wine will usually have a wide range of grains. Two-row being the base, but they can put some roasted malts in there. They can put some like rye in there. I've seen some rye barley wines. And there's also a category called a wheat wine, which is very similar to a barley wine, but they put majority wheat in there.
Yeah. Those are more the German style high ABV.
Right. Yeah. And so, they call it a barley wine because it's what it is. It's like a beer that's at the ABV of like a wine is. So they call it barley wine because most beers are made from barley. But it's not malt liquor.
No.
It's not malt liquor. It's a barley wine.
Yes.
It's And I find them to be very, very malty, very sweet. A lot of complex flavors to them. They're very delicious if you could find them. It's not a widely made style because I think the amount of malt that it takes to create them is kind of expensive. So
yes, yeah, no, that's definitely for sure. If you look at, I mean, we've seen this and we've complained the same thing about craft lagers, craft pilsners, the beers with lighter grain bills that are still like $12 for a 4-pack kind of thing. Yeah. Why would I buy a 4-pack of craft lagers at 4.8% when I can get a 4-pack of double IPAs at 9.2 with a much more complex grain bill?
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. Whereas a lager, you're going to get maybe a good flavor, but a very
base flavor, just
base, non-complex, single hop, double hop, single malt kind of flavor to it. And while it's good, would you rather have that, or would you rather have this complex, citrusy, malty, kind of blend? And that's where you get into trouble with craft beers. This is like, I'm not saying I don't like craft pilsners or don't like craft lagers. I totally do, but I'm not going to buy them because the craft IPA is the same freaking price for twice the flavor.
Yeah. And not only that, is like, I don't think there's as much wiggle room when it comes to flavor, when it comes to like pilsners and stuff like that, because they are so basic.
Yeah.
But when it comes to IPAs, you have a wide variety of malts you can use, a wide variety of hops, and it's still within the IPA category.
Right.
And actually, if you guys watch the video that me and Hops and Brews did, we did 2 different barley wines. Both were delicious, but both had very distinct different flavors. The Fremont one that John really liked was sweeter and maltier, but the Mother of All Storms, which I liked, had more complex fruit flavors, and it was a little more not as sweet. So they were both still considered barley wines, but they both appealed to different tastes that you want.
Yeah, they went 2 completely different directions with it.
Yeah, but they're still both considered barley wines. So even within the same type of beer, you can have wild different flavors.
Yeah. So yeah, think of it as a ultra boozy craft lager, but the grain bill can be much more complex.
Very complex.
It's a weird way of putting it. Because usually when you think more complex, you're like, oh, we're adding more hops, or we're adding more malt, or we're adding this can be like anything goes, but it's still following the traditional specs of what a lager is or what an ale is or something like that. So
yeah, I think people, a lot of the craft places that produce a pilsner or a lager or something like that, they do it because there's a lot of people out there that's what they like, and because they like, Budweiser, and so they'll produce that so they can capture part of that market.
Yeah,
but there isn't that much wiggle room. I think, because I've had a lot of craft lagers, and I do think they taste better than the domestics, but not by much. I mean, they're still essentially the same.
Yeah,
they kind of got that crisp, sweet, almost effervescent malty flavor to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're kind of a little bit of a corn note to it, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So, yeah, that's barley wine. I mean, if you can find some, I highly recommend it.
And if you can get Mother of All Storms, which is a barrel-aged barley wine,
very good. It's one of my favorite styles of beer is barley wine, just because of the wide flavors that it produces, and every single one of them is unique, and I can always pick out something that I like.
Yeah.
I don't think there's very few barley wines that I've had that I didn't enjoy at one aspect or the other. I actually have Great Notion. You know Great Notion, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Great Notion is one of the biggest and best up and coming breweries here in Oregon. They recently put out a barley wine, and I picked that one up, and I am anxiously waiting to try it. Why did I not know that? I don't know. I think you can pick it up at Craftworks over there in Salem. They might have a can or two.
Okay.
I would get it if you can. This Great Notion is amazing.
Yes.
And I am completely looking forward to this barley wine that they put out, because I want to see what they do with barley wines. They've done plenty of pastry stouts. They've done plenty of jammy sours.
And
they've done great hazy
double IPAs and hazy IPAs.
Yeah, all those, and they do a great job at all of those. This is the first time I've ever had one of their barley wines.
Their double stack pastry stout. Oh my god.
Yeah, so good.
The pancake stout.
Yep, it tastes like pancakes too. It almost tastes like pancakes down to the batter.
I know.
It can almost taste like pancake batter when you drink it. It's so crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the only way a lot of people can get Great Notion is through Tavour, because they are local for now.
Yes.
But the amount of clout that they're getting, I'm going to guess that they're probably going to be going national pretty soon, and I hope that the quality does not go down at that point. But
yeah, Great Notion is one of those weird breweries, and there's probably about a dozen of them at any point around the country, that if you have a beer from X brewery, you can trade for any beer that you want straight across.
Yeah.
And Great Notion's been that way for about 5 years now.
Yes, they have been.
So, yeah. I'm going to have to get a couple of those barley wines.
Yeah, if you can find it. I mean, I grabbed it about 3 weeks ago. So
I know two places that it probably is. So I think I'm going to swing into those two places. And
yeah, Craftworks in Salem might have it.
Craftworks, Barrel and Keg,
might have it.
Capital Market.
Yeah, they might have it too.
Yep.
There's a few places in Salem that carry Great Notion.
Yep. Alrighty. It is almost 10 past the hour. I think that's
a show.
I think that's a show.
That's gonna be a show.
This has been episode 194 here on Talking Heads. You can catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time right here on YouTube for the latest in beer and tech news. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Hops and Brews if you want to see myself or Steve or John in some more beer content, if you like the beer content on this channel. Steve, any good of the order?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a fantastic show. John Jay spotted a Great Notion near him the other day, and in fact, he picked it up. Is that the blueberry or cherry pancakes one? Jammy Pants. Oh, he got the Jammy Sour.
Jammy Pants is good
Jammy
too.
Pants.
That's a series, yeah.
That's a cherry Jammy Sour.
That's a Jammy Sour. Jammy Sours are very good.
Yep.
I'm still kind of on the fence at calling Jammy Sours a beer, but
they fit the bill, Steve.
Okay, they do, I'm getting a little sick of them. I went over to John's the other day.
Yeah, but 4 years ago we were getting sick of hazies too.
Yeah, I know. So I went over there and John's like, "Oh, you want to crack open a beer?" It's like, yeah, let's crack open a beer. And I'm like, "Not a jammy sour, please, not."
No,
it's like
don't.
Really? It's like I got so many of them. It's like, oh, come on, I'm sick of this. I like them every once in a while, but man, they're so thick and it's like
I have one that's literally a pint of blueberry pie.
I know. They're delicious.
Like, it's fantastic, but 4 ounces at a time. It's the same way I feel about hazies. Like, I will take a sampler of this any day.
Yeah.
But good God, I do not need 16 ounces at a time.
You had no problem polishing off that whole bottle of Mother All Storms. No problem.
I just want it for the record.
It's a 14% beer, but it's so complex and delicious. You have no problem polishing off that whole bottle.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. A jammy sour, would you be able to do 22 ounces of jammy sours without like getting sick at the end?
No,
exactly.
Now I couldn't drive right now.
Right. No, this is good thing you're home. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had no problem at all polishing that off on my own. And in fact, it developed into this way more malt forward beverage toward the end of it.
Love it.
Oh, that was delicious.
Yeah.
We did have one more super chat. Sorry if I didn't get to it. Pankaj, Kumar, I'm not sure what denomination that is, but 40 of your local currency. I do appreciate that. And just a fist bump. I will take just
there
a
we go.
fist
We'll
bump.
take a fist bump.
And on that fist bump, thank you so much for watching episode 194 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. And as always, we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Done.
Gone. Okay.